The pandemic put construction projects on pause and hit businesses hard. So joining me to talk about all of that is the president and CEO of the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, Kevin Johnson. And Kevin, great to see you again. I want to jump right in with a conversation I feel like I've had several times and almost on a weekly basis, which is with so many companies realizing they can succeed with their workers at home. What does that mean for the future of skyscrapers in downtown Detroit or that office space in those high-rise buildings?
Well, Jason, thanks for allowing us to talk today, and I'm excited about sharing what we're monitoring every day, and that is just that question. The fact of the matter is, we don't see that it significantly impacts commercial office space usage in the downtown corridor or any other office environment in the city of Detroit. What we are really paying attention to is how do they utilize the space in a way that is sensitive to the COVID environment that we're in, that it builds upon the need for contact with your coworkers, and how can we better align, our structure. When I mean our structure, I mean, how do we take the assets that we have and make sure that they're propping up and creating this vibrant downtown office scene that we saw prior to COVID had a lot of momentum. So those are the three things that we're looking at. And I think very significantly, the way in which developers and those who are responsible for configuring this office space to invite us back in is going to be the winner when it's all said and done.
Yeah, when you think about that, the future of commercial real estate really is kind of intriguing on that. But I'm kind of catching a little bit of what you're saying there, that human interaction is never going away. It's always going to be integral to the business model, correct?
You're correct. The human interaction, body language is a thing, right? Having a conversation face to face is a thing. Getting instantaneous responses is important. Being able to walk down from one office to the other or one cubicle to the next to get an opinion is very important. And you can't schedule everything. Some things have to happen in a spontaneous fashion. And for that, I think that human contact and human interaction is going to be the reason why office spaces are going to live and thrive well into the future.
Before I let you go, I want to definitely get your take, at least an update, the way you see it on some of the projects that were caught in the middle of this pandemic that are kind of on pause but going forward. The old train station, the Ford's Central Station, the Hudson's skyscraper is still in the middle of construction. We have District Detroit right next to our studios. We have the Cambria Hotel, and of course we've got the Eastern Market expansion. How do you see all of those moving forward?
Well, we see them going to completion. There hasn't been any indication from the developers of those projects that you mentioned and others that have said, well, we're going to suspend all that work. We're going to take a step back. What I think is happening, Jason, is I think that they are saying, well, if this is the environment that we're working in now, how do we make sure that the space that we're creating is as configured in a way that allows for us to bring our teams back into this space that we're creating, and does it work itself into the way forward versus the way backwards? And I think those conversations are happening, but the physical space itself, there hasn't been any indications from any of those projects that they're going to pull back from Detroit.
And that's really good news. I think even better is something you mentioned or alluded to, is how Google made a huge, or I should say Amazon at the fairgrounds. That's a huge win in the middle of a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic, the need to deliver packages has soared. And Detroit and Metro Detroit is a significant market for Amazon. And so much so that they've, going to build 3.8 million square feet of space with their development partners out of State Fair. Another 1,200 jobs in the city of Detroit, which we obviously need. And then a company like ClearCover, who's in the insurance business, also making a decision to come to the city of Detroit during a pandemic. And some of those things are giving us a lot of confidence that the way in which we are positioning Detroit has a sustainable need, a sustainable desire for companies that need a Detroit location and a Detroit address.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. It's a lot more bright spots out there than people might think. Kevin, thanks so much. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate
Absolutely. Anytime. And thanks to all of you for joining me for Flashpoint. Devin will be back next week. You go have a good Labor Day.